Alright, check this out. So we had our hood latch installed, but it needed a little work. So one thing we wanted to do to get it kind of automotive grade was get a secondary spring on this. So the way it works, you pull this back and it pops the hood. There's a spring inside of here that does that. However, it's kind of easy to pop. So we added a second spring right here to stiffen it up. Now this spring I happen to have laying around, but after seeing it, like I didn't stretch this too much. I can't go too far this way or the loop will run into it. But I do need to get a stiffer spring, but it's easy. You just take these nuts off and you can change the spring out. So we did that, and we got our cable hooked up. This is the factory cable. We just built a little thing to hold this. And I've still got, this is the, I put this bolt here. So if you take this bolt out, maybe not that, I don't know if that'll work or not. Yeah, it actually does. So that kind of works, but I'm going to put a nut right here to lock that so it can't vibrate loose. But that's how we get the cable out, and then of course you got to see it in action. Let's check it out. You heard the click. Hood's latched. We haven't put this in the car yet, it's just kind of floating, but watch this. So simple, but that's a lot of work. And now we can open the hood. So, good progress. Getting there. We still got a few things to figure out, but moving on along. Alright guys, so I was looking on my YouTube channel and someone left a comment and they were asking, why not make these pipes out of aluminum? Wouldn't they be lighter? Well, the answer is yes. But he did bring up a point. How heavy are these? I mean, they're made out of steel. They're probably heavy. I don't know. Let's weigh them. So, I have this little guy. You can hook stuff to it. Turn this on. There we go. Let me hook it up. We'll see what they weigh. Okay, here's this pipe. This is the one that goes on the water pump. 1.54 pounds. Alright, let's check the other. Okay, this is the upper pipe. 2.16. So, what's that? A little over 3.5 pounds, if I'm right. So not too bad, but yeah, 2 pounds. This could probably weigh 1 pound if it was aluminum. So, it could be lighter. It's a valid point. But I will say one thing in my defense. Or two things, actually. One, I just thought stainless would look awesome. And as far as I'm concerned, it does look awesome. The second one is vibration. That one that runs under the intake manifold is actually bolted to the engine. If it was aluminum, I would have to make the construction thicker or, and this would probably be better, design it to be dampened to where something that clamps to the motor and then like basically something strong and rigid goes on the motor and then clamps to the pipe. But since the pipe's made out of steel, I just welded tabs and bolted it on. I hope that's okay. I don't really know if that'll be okay, but it seemed like it would be okay. I guess if it ever cracks and fails, we'll know it wasn't. But anyway, just doing a quick clip. That was a question that was asked and I wanted to answer it. Alright guys, take it easy. Okay, I want to show you guys why you should purchase ABA hose clamps. Use these on your radiators, your boost pipes. Don't even use T-bolts, use these things. Here they are, ABA, all stainless. See that inside piece? It doesn't have a weld joint or a crimp zone or whatever. That's all one piece. They just forge it or whatever. Real cool. And then these aren't cut, they're rolled, so the inside is slick. You can see like a tooling mark, but it's actually smooth. These edges are rolled so they don't cut into the silicone. Blah, 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 blah. Let me show you the real reason you use these. Here's an impact. That's why I use these. These things are fucking strong. Let's see if I can get a zoom in. Yeah, it's hard to film. Anyway, yeah, that's a good spot right there. See how it sucked in the silicone really hard? You gotta love that. These things are fucking stout. Anyway, good stuff. If you ever need good hose clamps and you don't want them to leak, buy these. These things are awesome. Alright, so we started putting our coolant hoses on. I'll show you that real quick. So this rear one, that's installed. That's permanent, possibly. So we'll see. Hopefully we don't have to remove all this during wiring. We got this hose created and clamped, and I really like how that turned out. So we got ready to start doing more hoses, and I had this thought. I was like, did I final install the fuel pump? And I'm like 90% sure that I did. You know, what I mean by final install is that's it. You know, torqued, loc-tited, aligned, tensioned, whatever the case, like it's done. I was like 90%, but I decided that's not 100. I better just do it again. So I started checking. Yeah, it was not final installed. So we're working on it. Our pulley spacing was slightly off, so we adjusted that, but then I realized, I'm like, well, how come I can adjust it? It should be locked to the shaft. So then I tried to tighten the set screw on the pulley, which the pulley's right here. And I couldn't seem to find a wrench that fit the set screw. I'll give you a hint why. There's no set screw. So then I started thinking, I'm like, why did I not install set screws? Well, I kind of know the answer. I hate set screws. I don't trust them. So if I use a set screw, I have to tighten this set screw, hit the flat on this shaft. There's a flat right there. And then that has to carry all the anti-rotation. There's a keyway over here, but this pulley doesn't have a key. It just has set screws. So I could do the set screw method. I don't like it. So I'm probably going to do this one. So you guys have probably seen, I'll actually show you. So these are a different brand, but similar to loc-tite. So like there's blue loc-tite, this is your medium strength, and then there's a high strength. But there's another type of loc-tite that people don't always think about. It's called silver loc-tite. That's this stuff right here. Silver loc-tite is badass. It never slips. It's like permanent. So I think we're going to silver loc-tite the pulley on this pump. The only downside is it won't be adjustable. And if I ever have to take this shit apart, well, that's going to suck. Because you got to get all the silver loc-tite off. Damn, that's a good fit. But I think that's what we're going to do. It creates more work next time it comes apart. That does suck. Don't know. Actually, the pulley is smaller than this, so you could probably slide the pump off the bracket. It's ever so slightly smaller diameter, so that's not an issue. It's really just like if you got to change the setup or, you know, rebuild the pump or something. But short of that, it's not an issue. So I think that's going to be the plan. Now, we do got to be fucking careful. What we don't want to do when we're welding is like arc through the insides of the pump and damage something. So if we do weld it, we're going to have to like there's a threaded hole in the nose here. We're going to like thread into this and hook our ground clamp directly to that so that when we're welding, electricity goes from this shaft to here, and there's like no other path for it to do something else. You got to be real careful about welding on stuff. Make sure you're not creating a new problem when you're trying to solve a problem. So we're about to knock off for the night. We'll think about it, but I believe we're going to come back and hit it with a weld just to make sure she doesn't ever come loose, because that's the kind of stuff that keeps me up at night, or when you're at the track and you're worried, you're like, man, is something going to vibrate loose? Tell you what's going to vibrate loose? Something like that. A teeny little set screw doing a ton of work. That pump is actually hard to turn. There's a lot of friction. And there's no pump or fuel pressure. Now I'm guessing when it breaks in, it'll get easier to turn, maybe. But when it's pumping hard, it's going to take some torque. So yeah, I don't really trust set screws. So silver loc-tite it is. I think we're going to knock off for the night, but hope you guys have enjoyed this, and until next time, y'all take it easy.